once again, welcome into Look Lady Blue, Bs.Bs show. And today, I'm going to talk a little bit about survival, because y'all know that's the name of the show. So make sure y'all subscribe to my Bs.Bs show channel. I also have a Look Lady Blue podcast channel too. You'll enjoy those videos. Today, we're talking about survival. And you know I have given y'all little notes and stuff on survival from a couple other videos. So make sure y'all watch, like, and subscribe. Now, I want to talk about what is basic survival. Well, basic survival, we talked about how our ancestors and stuff survived back in the days, the foods that they had no choice. We didn't have grocery stores and stuff like that. We went over that kind of yesterday. Y'all got to check that video out. Gave you some examples of that. But when we're talking about basic survival, we're talking about water, food, shelter, fire, first aid is very important for sustaining life and basic survival. Those are your basic survival, the first 5 I know, essentials. Water, food, shelter, fire, first aid. And is that 5? Water, food, shelter, fire, first aid. Yeah, that's 5. And when we talk about that, because to me, I guess the title of this would be living in the times we're living in now. We hear a lot of stuff. We see a lot of stuff on social media. But I believe the most important thing is basic survival. We really need to be talking about basic survival, because that's what it may come down to. We just don't know, with the shift change of things happening, going into a new world order, digital. We went over all that, and they're talking about it daily on social media and stuff that's happening. And I said, well, I'm going to stick. I love the basic survival because, you know, we talked about if the economy shut down or whatever, which we know we had the government shut down, but if the economy just goes and there's no grocery stores, there's no way for you to survive. Do y'all really know how to survive? So food, water, shelter, first aid. You're going to need those things, and fire, because you got to have, for number one, you got to have water. So we always want to talk about in some videos that I posted about water, how to purify water. And if some of y'all that's tuning in, you know, what do you think of a way that you can purify water? Now, I know boiling. Boiling is a way that you can purify water. So it's good to learn how to purify water. You see what I'm saying? You say you boil the little microorganisms and all that stuff should die in the water once you boil it. But, you know, that's one way. But if you know a way, you can put it in the comments. That's one way you can purify water. I know some people need the water have to be filtered and all that stuff. So these are things that I just feel that's crucial for us to know in these days and time. Because a lot of the younger generation and other people, some of them now, not everybody, they don't know nothing about the modern day way of, you know, we're so used to technology. A lot of us don't know pretty much the modern way of surviving. A lot of back in the days, they just used to dig a well and everybody used to drink out the well. You know what I'm saying? They would just drink water from the well if it was good, some spring water that run through the mountains, you know, good clean water. They would drink like that. Thank you. What a beautiful accent. Thank you. That's a compliment. I appreciate that. And so water is a way we're gonna that's one of the 5 basic needs, because you got to have water for hydration. We all know we got to stay hydrated. So I was watching some videos, and I also, you can get on my Bs.Bs show and check out some of the videos that I posted, where people were actually showing us how they were showing us how on YouTube to basically go to the river and dip the water out the river, and how to take that river water and clean it. I thought those were good videos to post. Thank you for the love. From the M-Town. That's right. And so that was a good thing that I thought we should know. You know, they was taking that river water, and they was showing how you can boil it, and they made little bottles to help filter that water, and it was interesting. So you know, any videos dealing with showing you how to purify water, because you're going to need water for hydration. That's one of the most important things too. So when you talk about basic survival, basic needs, and like I said, we don't know how this is going to shift. You can't go to the store and buy water. What if the system the system don't work, where you can't get the water out the faucet? From the M-Town, Memphis bound, from the M-Town, Memphis bound. He said he didn't understand what I said. M-Town. M like M. Yeah. Okay. And so that was one of them I wanted to go over. And I ain't gonna be on this thing long, but I want to tell you all this too. So water, and then we have to have food. So if you gotta have food, what's another basic survival? If you gotta have food, then you gotta have what to be able to cook food. If you couldn't go into where you have to have ovens. We're so full of technology now. We got ovens, we got other ways to go around, microwaves. What else, you guys? Hello, microwaves. What else do we have? Oven, microwaves, come on now, to cook food. We got so many ways in technology to cook food. So basis of, you're gonna have to have what to cook food? Fire. If you don't have access to any of that, that's right. You gotta have fire to cook food. That's a way. That's another basic survival need. If you're out camping, those that go out camping, they be like, oh, I already know all this right here. These are things that we automatically have when we're camping or whatever like that. These are things that we know. Campers know basically what you gotta have for basic survival needs. And so also there's videos on there where you will see where people they were showing you how to create a fire. If you're out there, how can you don't have any matches, you don't have lighters, so you can take 2 wooden sticks. You know how we used to watch on Bugs Bunny and they rub them sticks together or whatever and they make fire? Well, fire is a part of basic survival needs, if that makes sense. That's a part of your basic survival. So I wanted to share that also, because we just don't know. Like I said, it may, if this thing go left or go right, to shut down, or things happen where the system, these are good things to be looking at now, your basic survival needs. These are good topics to be going over. And if you got a job, like I said, if you got a way, you're paying your bills and stuff, you got to hold on, because I believe in like a shift change. I said we're going into like the new world order or something like that. So it's good to be able to understand and know, watch how things are moving and shifting, and have some great basic survival techniques about you, from hunting, fishing, and all that, you guys. And so we know that, like I said, we got food, we're going to have water. We know these are the things we're going to need. And also fire. And we're also going to need shelter. You got to have shelter. So if you don't know how to go out and build a log cabin, it's good to watch, look, try to learn ways to build shelter. What I learned, I enjoyed the videos, watched the difference between concrete, how they had, mud, sand, and how in some countries they don't even use all that. They use basically like mud, sand, and water, and they mix this stuff together. I don't know, y'all know what it's called. I can't get it right in my head right now. But anyway, they was actually making like houses out of bricks, rocks, and stuff like that. And of course, they didn't look like what we have here, but they were livable. So you gotta have shelter to protect you from the elements, rain, what else, snow, you know what I'm saying, cold, hot. So you gotta have shelter for that. So shelter is important. These are like basic survival, 5 at least basic survival needs that you would have to learn or know something about, because we just don't know. And when I talked to one guy, he said, it may just come a time to where people may just be living in the woods. It might just get that bad where people be living in the woods and stuff like that. I said, well, people are already living in the woods. But he was like, yeah, but more of the population, because Things could get so bad where people start, hopefully they don't, losing their houses, they this and that. So when I thought about it, so that's why I said basic survival is important. And I think basic survival is a good topic to preach, to teach, special to now, this generation, because we're so used to technology. And so, once again, we know we need water, food, shelter, fire. And so the main important one of the main important ones, besides water, is first aid. A first aid kit. Yeah. Because a first aid kit, if y'all don't know nothing, that's really important. Because what if things happen and you can't get to the doctor, or you can't get to the medical treatment that you may need, and you're not stocked up on your medicines or anything like that? Do you really know a lot about treatment from certain natural cures, natural treatments and stuff like that? A lot of people don't know anything about that. Yeah, certain teas, just think about this now. So basic survival is very important, knowing your basic survival needs. Or if anything should happen, just say like a catastrophe, tornadoes, earthquakes and stuff like that, floods, all this stuff happen all the time. And a lot of people be caught off guard because your basic survival needs. It's good to always pack you a basic survival backpack. Keep your basic survival backpack with all your basic survival, some of your basic survival needs in your backpack. Pack that all the time. So let me go back to this in all times and say this about even with the food. You want canned goods and stuff like that, stuff that you can be able to take and pack up. You can't take the whole house. You can't take the flat screen TV. You won't need none of that anyway, because you won't have no electricity or something like that. So you won't need nothing like that. But you can take a nice size bag with water, something to put your little water in, something to keep your little canned food, stuff like that in. So your basic survival bag will be very important. So when we're talking about basic survival, we're talking about water, food, shelter, fire, first aid. How you doing? All right now. Doing pretty good. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. So, no, I don't drive a car. Somebody asked me that. First aid. So you need to pack you a first aid. And what is first aid? You need a first aid kit for basically injuries, minor injuries, just till you can get to the emergency room or real medical help. You know what I'm saying? Medical care or something like that. You need your first aid. What are some more things you all may know? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. You all may know some things that you can use that I might be leaving out for basic survival needs. And when we're talking about basic survival needs, you want to be good on, like I said, food, water, shelter, fire, first aid. I'm going to come back to that. And also communications, radios. You know what I'm saying? What if the satellites or something went out and you're not able to call on the cell phone? I know even right now, I go crazy. My phone got cut off yesterday, and that phone was off. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. That phone was off like 15 minutes. And I went crazy for 15 minutes. So I said to myself, good God Almighty, I have got addicted to this technology. Because back in the early 90s, we didn't have cell phones and stuff like that. And so I lost that. That phone was off like 15. I don't even know if it was off 15 minutes. And I said, oh God, I feel naked without my cell phone. Not naked, but naked. Yeah, I feel like no communication. I can't communicate with anybody. I'm just out here. Oh, I'm freaking out. So I gotta have my cell phone for communication. So what if, like I said, the satellites go out and you're not able to communicate? So that's where, if you got walkie-talkies, what they got, walkie-talkies, y'all remember those? You need batteries, good ones now. You need some type of way to communicate. You see what I'm saying? When we're talking about basic survival needs, you need some type of way to communicate with people. And they give a lot of this information out at certain centers and stuff. And especially for the things that they're saying is going to be happening, we just got to keep our eyes open, especially as we make this shift, because we just don't know. Something is happening, something is going on, and it's best to be prepared. So when you're talking about communication, radio and stuff, you want to stock up on you some batteries. You know what I'm saying? You want to stock up on some batteries where, you know, if you can't plug it in, at least you can throw the battery in there, if that makes sense. But I ain't gonna talk y'all all day because we're gonna continue this. But I just basically wanted to share that with y'all about some couple basic survival needs, and I'm gonna come back and talk a little bit more about basic survival needs. But I want to tell y'all this story. Well, it was Lone Ranger. Some of y'all may remember this. And Toto. You need your first aid kit to be able to address some things. And they were out in the jungle or something. Well, Lone Ranger went to use the restroom. And when he went to use the restroom, he got bit by a snake. You know, he went, because they didn't have restroom, but you know, he went out to the woods and did his thing. And the snake bit him. And when the snake bit him, y'all know he needed to address his wound. Y'all know where the snake bit him. Yeah, it went there. Well, because they didn't have no first aid kit or anything, nothing like that. He didn't have no care out there. First thing, Toto, was it Toto? Toto, y'all know Toto said when he saw where Lone Ranger was bit, he said, well, I'm going to go try to find you some help. Otherwise, you're going to die. So, on that note, thank y'all for tuning in. And look, watch, like, subscribe to my channel, Bs.Bs.show. Watch, like, and subscribe, and share. And look, I'm going to end this thing right now, but I'm going to be bringing y'all some more basic survival needs. And y'all going to really enjoy them. So, for everybody, have a great, happy Friday. And keep your head up. Hands up, everybody. One love.